are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am what? 3 hours ahead of you,
Yeah.
correct?
hmm
You know
3
what? When I
hours.
was trying to understand the time when I was coordinating with Stephanie, I said these time zones are something. So thank you so much for being here. This is everything. I thought I
Awesome.
wasn't gonna catch up with you because you're so busy.
No, I know. I've been looking forward to this. I'm glad we were able to coordinate it. I think it's a great platform that you've created, and the topic that we're discussing today is definitely one that I think a lot of people can relate to. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I have an ear infection in my right ear, so if anytime my volume is too high or low, just tell me because I can't hear out of this ear right now, and I'm adjusting to
Oh my
this new
God.
way of hearing and speaking.
Yeah, well, I know you said you networked yesterday and it was successful. So I feel like you're gonna be able to hear me. I feel like we're gonna because
Yeah,
you
I
can
can
hear
hear
me
you.
now, right?
Yeah, no, I can hear
Yeah.
you good. I'm just saying my volume is hard to tell if it's low or high. So if I get
Oh,
too
got
low,
you.
just like let me know.
Okay. Or you could just keep doing this with that ear right there. So yes. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for being here on the Claiming My Abundance podcast. I could not wait to have you. Number one, because of your story. When we were at the networking event, I forgot exactly what it was called, but the amazing woman, she put it together. And listen, you came up there and you were just so transparent. And I'm just like, wow, she is actually on this stage and something just happened, but she's still here to deliver. So then when I looked you up and how amazing you are in the online business space, I said, this woman is impacting the masses. Okay. So even just the impact from the stage, from looking at you online, I'm like, okay, God, I just hope this woman can fit this in her schedule because I need her voice. I would love to hear her story. So we are
So
on episode 12 on Claiming My Abundance podcast. And the name of this podcast is How the Hustle Creates Trauma. Oh my God. Chelsea, a lot of people they hustling right now. They're hustling. So for those that don't know Chelsea, she is an online business coach, and I would call her an expert because she's been in this industry for some years now, right? And so when I tell you, just the amazing things freeing people. Let's just start with freeing people, right? A lot of people are in the entrepreneurial space, they don't want to show up. So Chelsea have created a solution around those who don't want to show up online, but still make a living, still create that generational wealth and financial freedom that we all yearn. Okay, so Chelsea, I have you here. I'm excited. I want you to introduce yourself and let the people know who you are because I was just amazed at your story and everything you shared
yes,
on the stage. You have the
it was
floor.
so good meeting you there too. It was a very powerful event. It was great that Chance put that together, and I was so honored to be there and meet so many amazing women. And so when you asked me to be a part of this, I knew right away that I would be all in. Um, my name is Chelsea, and I am a mother. I'm an online business coach, and my primary duties, I feel like, as an entrepreneur, I know I completely blanked out. Is to help coach women. My mission is to teach women how to become financially free with entrepreneurship. And what I specialize in is e-commerce and drop shipping. So I've dedicated the last 4 years of my life. This is actually our 4-year anniversary on the 28th of this month. And of me coaching. So I never thought I would be teaching women how to do this. But like you said, I've been hustling for so long and chasing financial freedom and security and stability for so long that it just makes sense that now that I am, by the grace of God, in the position that I am in, that I give back and I teach other women the exact steps that I took that got me here. So that's, the purpose that I have is to give back in that way and teach and educate and motivate women to starting these online business ventures because it's completely changed my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. First off, I just love that you know your purpose. Most time when you are hustling, Chelsea, as we were just talking about before we even started this podcast, people are just so fixated on the deal, the money, right? How can it benefit me to begin with? And then I'll show you the impact later when it's like you have a heart to serve these women, right? Being a mother, being an entrepreneur, it's a lot of women out here that don't even know where to start. So before I even continue with this, for those who are out there that's looking for, a sisterhood, a place where you can be safe and healed, claiming my abundance Facebook group is there for you. You don't have to do life alone. And as Chelsea go through her story, I know that you came up, or not came up, but met women who can relate to you and having an impact in the world as well. So for those who are listening, feel free to join the Claiming My Abundance free Facebook group, and let's unpack together. Let's literally unpack together. So, Chelsea, again, it's just to know that you're walking in purpose and helping these women wholeheartedly. It means a lot to the women who encounter you and see you as a solution. Like, entrepreneurship is solution based. And I don't run across on a daily or see a lot of women in the space that you're in. So I just want to give you your flowers and give you
Oh, thank
gratitude.
you. You're
Welcome.
so
It's
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Because I mean, purpose is not always easy, right? But you started off hustling first, and now that you're in a space where you created the life that God wanted you to have, the life that you desire for yourself, now you can give back and heal and be intentional about your healing.
I
So I
love that. Yes, you put that beautifully because that's exactly what it feels like. And it's true. That's exactly what walking in your purpose leads to. And, people freak out about being this age or that age and just not knowing what that purpose is for them. And I think that it's so important to overcome your fears in life so that you at least are willing to put yourself out there to experience new things, because when you do that, that's what brings you closer to your purpose. That's new experiences,
totally
overcoming different things in your life. That's what eventually helps you find your purpose. And unfortunately, if you play it safe your whole life and stay in your comfort zone your whole life, you're never really, I'm not gonna say never, but it's going to drag out that process of you figuring out what you're truly moved by. So I think me being in that hustle mindset for so long and being willing to adapt and try just about anything. Obviously, I have limitations as a human being, but a woman. But I'm just saying, like, being in that mindset of like, I got to get it by any means. It definitely made me adaptable, and it made me unemotional to having to pivot and
Mhm.
fail and try and start over, made me resilient. So I think adapting that mindset will take people so far, because being purpose driven is the best feeling ever. But
Absolutely.
in order to find that, you have to be willing to discover it.
Discover it. And it takes time. You
Mhm.
just said something. You said while hustling, you can become, or you became, right? That's some people just literally become unemotional. So then therefore you are not emotionally available for maybe things or people around you that can really add value, because you're hustling, hustling, hustling. You're tunnel vision. You're not thinking about anything or anybody but this goal right now. So,
Yeah.
wow, that I've never heard, which is true though, but I've never heard anyone just verbalize that like you did. Because even growing up, Chelsea, I can contest that, as I shared with you, I seen my mom working 12, 16 hours a day as a CNA, not entrepreneurship. So
Mm.
it's safe when you're working a 9 to 5, but then
Yeah.
when you go to doing entrepreneurship and you working 12 and 16 hours and no one have made a payment yet, you like, okay, now what else do I let's be real, right? Somebody is
Yeah.
listening, like, I'm putting in all this work and
Yeah.
I'm not getting a client yet, whether they're new, 5 years in, 2 years in. We all have seasons in business. It makes you grind harder. So you cannot focus on the core, the healing, the trauma, the open wounds,
Yeah.
right? We're looking for, um, oftentimes we subconsciously look for comfort in ways that may not even be conducive to our healing or our growth.
Very much so. Definitely.
So
Yeah.
I guess, my first question to you is what did your healing journey look like? And healing is a ongoing thing. It's a revolving door. So it's not a one destination that you have to climb or get to. But what is it looking like for you while you're on your healing journey? Now that you went from hustling to impacting to healing and still impacting, what does that look like for you?
I think that somehow I really think God really I was just going with the flows of things and just what was feeling good and natural for me. At the time, I wasn't focused on healing at all. In the beginning, my goal was making money to survive and to get my life stable and secure. I was in a brand new relationship, so I was on cloud nine. I really wasn't feeling the pressures of my unhealed trauma at the time at all. So it was just like the first good breath of fresh air that I had gotten in a while, years after a couple years after the abusive relationship that I was in. But I feel like trauma and healing from trauma was not on the forefront in the beginning. It was truly money season for me. And
Exactly.
then as I grew into this mother, this fiance, this family woman, that's when I got into my coaching career and decided that I wanted to start helping women learn the things that I had already learned and accomplished.
Right.
And in that is when I discovered, like, wow, I have a lot to talk about on a personal level. Yes, it's business, but in learning who my customer was and learning who I felt needed my programs the most, doing my market research, doing all of that, it forced me, or the way I was able to connect with my audience was
Absolutely.
by going live and
Mm,
making connections with live real people, and taking phone calls, getting to know who my customer was. And in doing that, I realized how much I had in common with these women.
right.
And it allowed me to have a lot of conversations. It allowed me to cry and share like mutual experiences that just evoked such powerful emotions that it was just like I would end the day feeling so drained, whether I made money or not. It was not drained in a bad way, but just like
Right, right.
relieved. I should not drained, the opposite, but
Really, yeah.
drained in a way too, though, because it's just like things that you're not even realizing are coming out. I'm over here sympathizing with a woman who maybe just lost her husband, and so she's looking for another stream of income now, and now we're on the phone talking about just life and love and loss, or just things that I had also experienced in different ways or could relate to. And now I'm just bonding with women, and it had been really the first time in a long time. And that was healing for me in such a deep way that I never anticipated. I was not expecting that energy exchange. I wasn't expecting to be releasing so much of my true story, my past,
Mhm.
on social networks. But when I realized that my market needed relatability, and they needed to have a woman that was willing to break things down for them and get on their level and be transparent and show them that this is not about the money for me. I'm not a marketer. I'm a new mom. My kid is 4 months old in the back room. Y'all might hear her crying, but I have a message I want to share with you guys. And it's that, you can do this too, even with the kid, even with this or that.
Wow.
Like, I'm a human being, and I don't know how technology works. This might shut down like it did right now, and I don't know how to fix it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I needed people to
Wow.
see that. Like, I'm a real
Absolutely.
person. Yeah.
Wow. So, and like you said, now, did you know sometimes we don't even know that a lot of, how can I say this? A lot of emotion, a lot of our self is going to be involved in the process of finding purpose and connecting with people. Sometimes people just start businesses, Chelsea, and think like, okay, well, I can be in the background, and you can, which is why we have you here to talk about that. But I can just be in the background and not connect. However, even though you teach on how to, make money and free yourself, and you don't have to show your face, you still show up because you have other things to offer as well, because you're teaching these women and men, if you will, how to show up. But you also have digital courses, so you really don't have to show up. But in the beginning, you did. That's the thing. And Chelsea is like, I think it's so beautiful when we can understand, like, okay, I know I'm in business, but this might not always be a monetary transaction. This may just be a person to person, a heart to heart transaction. And I think, honestly, Chelsea, I think that God tests us to see if are we really going to go through the levels of serving. Can I trust you to serve at a big capacity?
I
So
like
let me
that.
see
Yeah.
how you gonna, yeah, let me see how you're gonna serve at a small capacity when money isn't coming in. So I understand what you mean when you said you felt drained yet relieved. Because even when I started the CMA Academy, Claiming My Abundance Academy, the calls are free. I'm doing a questionnaire to see where these women are in their business, in their faith walk, and we're on the phone just and they're pouring out to me. So I'm like, okay, but it wasn't, that was the transaction. That's the human transaction.
Yes, being human, being relatable, being vulnerable, especially, yes, I think it's just necessary to have that as a part of your branding. If you're asking for an investment from someone, I think that at some
Absolutely.
point, you don't, not to say you have to have that personal interaction, but the level of comfort does need to be there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think the people that do best in business and sales are the ones that are willing to become really embody their brand and just being genuine to the brand that you being passionate about your brand. You know what I mean? To the point where you want to, if you're doing business with other human beings, people, you want them to feel like they know who their coach is, they know who they're doing business with. So
Absolutely. So for those who are listening to this, please know that she's 4 years into the online business coach or just the online e-commerce industry. So if this is you and you're like, I don't want to show up, but I want to start this business, scale this business, what I need you to do, because this is going to be beneficial if you are struggling, click the link below. She has an online business mastery course, and she has more than just that. But to start off with, if you are just someone who, you are a single mom and you're like, okay, I have these kids, how do I show up when I got my babies? Even though she did it, other women have done it. This course will help you literally, figure out the approach, the strategies, the tactics on how to build
from
this
A to
online
Z,
business from A to Z.
for
All you do is
sure.
click the link. You see how she's transparent and she's open. And, we have our chain of demand, but she's also an accessible coach. If you feel that you need more hands on coaching, she has so many amazing things coming up. So I wanted to highlight that for those who are like, oh my God,
Thank
I love
you.
her already. how do
Yes.
how do I, get into this lane? The link is below. It is the online business mastery link. So let's continue, Chelsea. So, when did you discover you needed to heal? Like the hustle was good, the money was coming in, and I even believe maybe hit some of your goals and your numbers. Like, when did you discover you needed to heal? Was it after you started accomplishing these goals, or
Girl, it was in 2023. That's when. The hell?
2023? Wow.
Yes, right now. Like I felt
Wow. Right.
fine, honestly, this whole time. Like I've made millions of dollars. That was my focus. Like my healing journey has literally begun right now because I have gone through things in the end of 2022 that have just triggered me and brought me back to a mental place that felt very familiar to me when I was going through my trauma 10 years ago. But I'm somebody, not to say like I heal quickly on my own, not like that, but me becoming an online business coach. Okay, so earlier you said I've been in business for 4 years. I've been in business for 7 years now, but I've been coaching for the past four.
Got it. Got
So
it.
the
Okay.
past 4 years have given me such amazing connections. I'm an introvert. I normally do not. And in drop shipping,
Wow.
initially, I did not have to talk to anyone. So I didn't, me becoming a coach was my healing journey that I didn't know I needed, is what I was kind of getting
Yes.
at. Me
Yes.
having all these women, I talked to hundreds of women that year. My first year in business with coaching, I talked to all my prospects, every one of my mentees from 2019. I talked to them. I didn't have a team. I was a one
Yep.
person person, the show. So I know every person's business, every person's goals, dreams, anybody who came in through my first couple launches. So that was freaking healing. And I didn't even know I didn't know what healing even was. I just thought I was crying with these women and talking. And I got off the phone feeling tired. Sometimes I would just go take a nap and like I would just feel like, but that was healing for me. There would be times where my fiance would come in, I'd be on the call, I'm like, I'm talking to some, and then I'd be bawling and he'd come in like, what the hell are y'all talking about? And I'm just like, nothing. Like, she feels me. Like, that was great. Like, she had an abusive relationship and da 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 da, and we just bonded. And those people are now in my course, and so it's great to see that there's women just like me who having these conversations with led them to feeling comfortable enough to making a life-changing decision. And now over the years, we've seen each other grow in different ways, and it's just been amazing. But yeah, this year I got into therapy, and I just realized that or the end of last year, I went to seminar. That's like a more of a healing developmental type of thing. Normally I'm big on personal development though. So I think that helped me so much. And so personal development coupled with communicating with people who are like-minded and people who, maybe they've gone through healing and therapy and things like that. So the advice and the culture I was creating for myself was already so positive and uplifting that I didn't feel the need. I was fine. I genuinely was fine. And so I think when it hit me that I needed therapy, I needed more healing, was when I realized that the things that, like, the decisions that I have to make now as an adult are reflecting traumas that I might have dealt with in my childhood, or things that like I never even go back to because I thought were irrelevant, but I'm now realizing are responsible for some of my fears, or some of the reasons why I can't say no about things, or the reasons I get defensive about things. Or I just started realizing like, I am who I am now, and how much of that of me is just genuinely my genetic makeup, and how much of it is just due to circumstance or trauma that maybe I need to iron out a little bit, and I'll become a totally better, even better version of myself, So that's where I'm at right now. I've made millions. I've accomplished a lot of the things. I got my the kids, the house, the cars, all the material things I could want. But I'm like, you know what? Wow, how dope would 2023 be if I could just like iron out the things that make me a poor communicator to my loved ones, or the things that make me whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be even better. I'll attract even more people. I'll be even more likable. I'll be even more impactful if I could be better in those ways,
I love this. I love the fact that I don't 2023, 2020, you said 2023 is the year of my healing. And see, for those who are listening, whether you started your healing journey again 2 years ago because some traumatic things happened, or a year ago, 5 years ago, or even this year, give yourself grace, right? Because you're not alone. And you hear this woman saying, like, listen, I had to make a living for myself first, but now that I'm in a space where I know it's needed so I can become a better X, Y, and Z, take inventory, but give yourself grace while taking inventory. And please know, you may have started a healing journey years ago, but you're like, okay, I put myself in situations where I need to evaluate me again at this season or this level in my life. It's totally okay. We're not perfect. We don't strive for perfection. We strive to be effective. Yeah. So I tell people, practice makes effective, not perfect, because we can fall short every day. And honestly, I feel like we deal with some type of external factor that could be a trauma, even if it's waking up and not knowing, not conquering your mindset, or waking up and having a conversation. Like we were just saying, Chelsea, having conversations with people that's not conducive. Small things can cause trauma. So if this is the year where you are like, okay, I've been a mom for so long, I've been a wife for so long, or I, had a divorce before, let this be the year about you, right? And everything else will catch up. Your money,
everything else will catch up.
The clientele, the connections. I feel like God stops all the traumatic, chaotic things that's your normalcy to heal you, and you'll still be on time. Chelsea, you're right on time. Like, I
Oh,
just
thank
love how,
you.
yeah, no problem. I just love how you just took accountability. You typically hear in a marketplace that women can't take accountability, women can't say sorry, women.
I Yes, and it's so funny because they will make a lot of men out here will make you feel like that, and it's funny that having this same similar conversation, it can bring out that feeling for you. Someone else
Absolutely.
just said the complete opposite. You take absolutely no accountability.
What?
Like, no, you did, and I'm like, what? I'm the queen. Not, I'm not gonna say I'm the queen of accountability, but I go
Right.
searching for it. Like, I will ask my team, like, how can I be better? I will ask my daughter, like, how can I be a better mommy to you? Like, please don't. I'm happy to be accountable.
I'm happy to say I apologize. That's
Yeah.
how you know, Chelsea, the work is working. And this is why conversations need to be had, like what you feel, what the type of emotions that trauma cause. Because what can happen, Chelsea, if we don't talk about these things and not feel like, oh, I'm being too emotional, then we can have open wounds and put bandages over them or never address them. And then you go to the next situation, and now it's another one on top of the one that's already on.
Layers.
It's layers. So being able to say, I take accountability. How can I be better? How can I, how can I just be a better, wholesome woman, period, is a beautiful thing. That's how you know the work is working. And
Thank
that's
you. I agree.
work.
I
You're welcome.
100% agree.
You are so welcome. So if you can, just let us know, how did, now that you're on this journey, because it's a new journey for you, but if you're, I'm sure you're noticing a little bit, as you're on this healing journey, how is it, conducive to your personal and business life?
Hmm.
And you might be still discovering this, but
Yeah, I'm definitely still discovering it because the year just started. So this is
absolutely
a very new thing for me to realize that I even need to do, and that, like, whoa,
good.
what really comes with healing? Like, I thought I was healed. I thought I was fine. And I feel fine, but I feel like there's things in my life that I still struggle with walking away from, or things that I know are not as on point as they should be. And I'm just like, what is it that obviously a problem with me and what I got going on if I'm still so drawn to the things that are not good for me. You get what I'm saying? Or the things that at least are looking like they're not the best of the best for me. Because if I preach to people every day, all day, that we deserve the best of the best, and I wholeheartedly believe that, why am I only allowing myself or forcing myself to measure up in some areas, but not every? Why am I still not in the gym? Why? If I know that the best of the best is someone who not only makes millions of dollars, not only has a beautiful house and a beautiful car and beautiful kids, but like they're technically a 10 out of 10 would mean that I would also be a fitness star, like I should be, if I'm going to be, if I say I want GOAT status and I want to be the best of the best, why am I allowing certain people around me to make me feel a certain way? That's not the best of the best. That's not tolerating certain things are not the best of the best if they make me feel sad inside or anxious inside. So what is it about me that's like making those things normalized if that doesn't feel like greatness to me? So that's what my healing is more like. I feel like through this therapy, I will definitely uncover and release more of, like, I feel mostly healed from like the abuse and stuff from the past. I'm sure that going to therapy for what I'm currently going for, which is trying to understand why I'm still drawn to or okay with settling in some areas, but not others. And that sort of thing, I'm sure it'll get to the root of even more of the abuse that I'm healing from. And that'll be even just a bonus that I'll heal from that. But I genuinely feel fine from that. I talk about it so often and openly,
Right.
and like I relate to so many people, and I've I've overcome feeling guilty. I'm not mad at myself for what I allowed to happen to me anymore. Like, but I didn't
Good.
go to a doctor to heal through that. I talked to women just like you on podcasts about it and cried with thousands of people watching me and talking about how broken I felt to allow this man to do that. I've done so much of that. I feel healed through it. I genuinely do. But
And
that
that is
doesn't
a healing process.
that doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt. It'll always hurt. But
Yeah.
I'm not talking to my therapist about me being abused anymore. I'm talking to her about the patterns that I'm seeing in my life right now that are mimicking the girl that I was when I allowed myself to get dragged by my hair through my house and shit. Like, I'm not getting abused right now, but it's still that sense
Wow.
of what I would allow to tolerate and why. You know what I mean? It's not on that scale, but it's still things that are less than what I know I deserve in certain areas of my life. And I'm allowing to be drug around by that. And I
That's a
don't.
great analogy. Wow. And for those who are listening, understand that that's why I'm saying healing is ongoing. Understand that, when you're doing the inner work, it may be okay, you may be healed from that particular thing. Like she's saying, like, I feel fine from the abusive relationship, but it may be other things that you're tolerating and you're saying, like, why am I not happy? Why don't I have my own happiness? Or why am I seeking happiness elsewhere? Because there's still some underlying trauma or
Yeah.
open wound that you keep trying to maybe heal yourself, or you're putting this artificial band-aid on it that keeps coming off.
It's insane. And until Psy Seminar last year is what helped me realize about childhood trauma. I hear it. Of course, we all hear these things, but
Yeah.
we don't really understand what they mean. And we don't even a lot of times identify with it. I didn't go through molestation, thank God, or like things that are like really register as to anyone. Oh, that's trauma. I get it. I get it. I didn't go through those types of things. I went through things that were more easily concealed under like me just making
Mm.
excuses for a busy mom, a busy single mom. That can easily be swept under the rug as like non-abusive. Oh, that was just your mom. She's stressed, But no, like the thing, that's easier to then nobody can accidentally be molested or there's no excuse for something like molested. You hear molested, you're like, oh, that's an evil son of a bitch. Like that's a devil. But you hear, oh, your mom socked you in the throat. It's fine. She was just, she'll never do it
And
again.
Chelsea,
No, that's not okay.
that's crazy. You said, oh my God. Okay. So you just said a lot, and I caught that. You're like, some people can easily conceal some things because we're like, okay, well, this is just an excuse because I'm a single mom, or this is an excuse I'm a single woman and entrepreneurship is hard. So let me go do X, Y, and Z. But really, that is I correlated. There's a pain and there's a pattern. So there's some type of pain where you have created this pattern, and it's your comfort. It's your excuse and it's your comfort. So this is so good. I feel like healing and therapy is like peeling back an onion, because
Oh
there's
yeah.
gonna be some questions that you or somebody else may be like, did she or he really just ask me this? Yeah, because I want to understand the core of you, the core of why this is your pattern. For example, my mom I used to see growing up, I used to see my mom, with my dad and other men. She was very much assertive, aggressive, and abusive. So it became a pain for me, because who wants to see their parents physically and verbally abusing each other? But then growing up and in my teens and 20s, my pattern was I was assertive, I was aggressive, I was going from man to man, and it wasn't healthy because I seen her doing it. That was a pattern. So like you said, childhood trauma, it can also be adulthood trauma because even in my late 20s, I seen myself with this pattern because this busy entrepreneurial single woman, she wants to go on a date. So we're not choosing the right guy that we know. We're choosing what feels good right now. So that's what we also want to break. Like, so if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I'm choosing what feels good right now, baby, if it really don't feel good, that means it's trauma.
And a lot of times too, it could feel so good just because it's in a new packaging and that person
Wow.
and you are not at the level to bring out the things yet. But if you are
Good.
hurting and traumatized and not healed yet, you don't even realize that what just drew you to that person is low key probably very similar to what drew you to the last one.
It's
And
called.
then as you go through personal development and you heal, eventually the mask comes off because you're revealing things that like, oh my God, I know what I just did again. And I also it
That's
explains
me.
why you started going in another direction as well, because as those healing things happen and you start to understand yourself better, you realize like, oh my God, no, I need to evolve from that place. And now you're no longer drawn to some of the things or people that you were drawn to so heavily initially,
Yep,
because you're like, no, that's actually the old me, the unhealed me picked you,
yep.
you know?
And when you start to heal, it's so easy to decipher, discern that this person characteristics, this new package is a representation of my old self, especially if they make you think about the old things that you would do, or if they put you in a space to do those old things, please believe it's that's a trauma bond, right? Or but again, when you start healing, it becomes very clear and vivid when people and places come into your life. You're like, okay, yeah, this is not it. And you want to get to that point where you're like, this
Yeah.
is not it. You know,
Yeah.
this is not it. So Chelsea, and you can share how much you want or not, you know, because it's still, I know, like you're saying, you're going through this very vulnerable and sensitive transition. But I hear you say some of your traumas and some of the situations. What is one trauma that you can say outside of the abusive relationship that you share with us? What is a trauma maybe from that abusive relationship, or what are some things that you're still accepting from those traumas? Because you mentioned
What are some of the things that I'm still tolerating from
tolerating
those traumas?
to make you feel like you're not you're not allowing the best. Somebody needs to hear this.
Um, being like, I know I've been playing small for sure, and
Okay.
acknowledging that. And it's because of, mm, it's because of, um, you know, a lot of the people around me, family, a lot of people who have chosen different normal or traditional career paths and things that people who don't really understand entrepreneurship in the era that we're in with social media, all of these things. A lot of people can play on like terms that like you change, the money's changed you, entrepreneurship changed you, oh, who do you think you are, oh, why do you always have to dress like this, or like, oh, here Chelsea, you're pulling up in the it's like, dang, chill. Like a lot of that noise will make someone like me who's so humble and so doesn't need the attention, never, you know, I didn't do it for what it looks like I did it for, I guess. Just because I'm a cute girl and I like to dress, it doesn't mean that I'm this person because of, and that will make you feel a certain way. And it'll make you feel like, maybe it's easier. Let me not wear that to her house. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, no, let me take the book bag, take all my stuff out that person. Give me the other book bag. Like, I don't want to make anybody feel inferior or not inferior, or like feel insecure or intimidated. That's the word, intimidated. I've had friends who have been like, I come around, whatever, and it's just like rapid fire business talk, business talk, business talk, business talk. And it's like, babe, like, but I know that that's not you though. I know you're not even an entrepreneur yet. Why am I not business talking you to death and I am the entrepreneur? You don't have to do that with me. I came over here because you said we were making tacos. Like, we don't have to talk about business if you don't want to. And they've said, like, I just don't want to waste your time. Like, I just know you're really about your business and you don't hang out with people who are not. And it's like, you're right. I don't hang out with people who are not about their business, I guess. But like, you don't have to do that with me. And it makes me feel like, you know what, damn. And when you ask me what I did this week or something, and it is business related, I don't even want to share that anymore because I feel like like I'm not ever trying to be looking at. It's just weird,
Right.
you
I
know.
get what you're saying.
And so
Wow.
it's kind of giving me that feeling of just like, I want to dim my light for a lot of people who are maybe are not, who are in my circles or in my like close networks because they're family or they're friends of the family or they're just like in my life. And I don't want to make anybody feel like I've just become this big thing,
Oh,
because it's like I'm still normal as hell. I'm still super normal, but yes, I have evolved, of course, but like I want to bring as many, I don't know, it's just a thing that, like, yeah, it's been a challenge for me to truly step into my potential, because I still care about how people look at me, but it's not people on the internet, like, or people I don't know. It's like the people that I know me the most,
who
and
you care
their
about?
opinions are the ones that really hold weight, because it's like, I don't want you to feel like I've changed or I became this person, but that person is a great person. It's a beautiful person that genuinely loves people and wants to help humanity, not someone who's just this rich girl who doesn't have no problems. I have a bunch of problems. Like,
Exactly.
I still got stress. I got problems, things that, so that's a huge one for me, is just realizing that that's not what's best for me, for sure. Like, why am I comfortable? I'm uncomfortable, but why am I willing to settle when I know I'm settling? Like,
Mm,
why? I know I settle with things, and I should just be comfortable being like, you know what, I like, let me just go full throttle, and whoever comes along, and whoever falls off, falls off. But I love hard in every way, and I'd be so, come on, like, no, just, I'm not gonna let go. You have to come, you have to, and that's
yeah.
that's a problem right there too. Like, let them go,
Mhm.
let them
Like, let
go,
'em
let
go.
them go,
And
and
you
that's,
know what? When it comes to letting go too, Chelsea, I feel like they'll listen. You may not think it, or we may can't see it right now. Like, they don't really see my value. If I gotta tell you to come on and pull you, you don't see your value for one. But then when I let you go, do I have to let you go for you to see like my intent behind me trying to keep you coming this way because I want better for you? So sometimes letting folks go is good because the heart absence make the heart grow fonder, and your absence, because you are such a valuable woman, they'll start thinking like, wow, Chelsea would have advised me to do this for the better good of me, or Chelsea would have X, Y, and Z, because you love so hard. So sometimes letting go is good as healing for them. You too, but healing for them. So they can realize the value that, number one, they hold, and why you were trying to pull them in that good direction. And number two, they see your value. Sometimes it may not the way you feel like you got to downplay. Well, no, because even the friends, they see huge value. If they're like business conversation, it's like sometimes I want to lay my hair down and take my hat off. I don't want to talk business. I'm around you enough.
right, like, you don't have to do that with me. Like, it's okay, but it is a fine line, because they
Yeah,
also know, they hear me on and that's the biggest one. I mean, actually, it's not so much trauma, but that is just a hassle in business and
right,
just in
right.
a normal person becoming a personal brand, is that people, like, you shut up, like, you get to a part in your business, a place in your business where it's like, people really associate you so much with the brand that you've created and this
Brand. Yep.
money machine that you're putting out. Because yes, on social media, that's my business. So of course that's what I exude and what I talk about. But there's more facets of me as a woman, as a person. So when you meet me in real life and you talk to me one way, and then you pull up my Instagram, and then it's just like, it ruins a lot. It's like, gosh, like, I'm just trying to be normal and talk to you.
Successful and not mediocre. Can we create a culture that wants to strive for greatness so we can all speak the same language? I feel like
Yes.
when you start to heal and you start to really, kind of have this attitude of I love you all, I love people, but I really don't care what you think. That's when greatness starts to flow. That's when you can just flow in this greatness, and whoever falls off, baby, I see you when you figure it out, and whoever comes, they already walking in that greatness. And I pray, Chelsea, that in the season of you healing, you'll find comfort in folks dropping off by themselves. But then too, for those who know your heart, and I'm glad that you remind me of me with this, because I had a friend as well. She mentioned to me, she was like, well, your first business, you do credit. So when I first met you, I thought I had to have all my affairs together. Sis, you don't really know what's going on in the background. So, but the way that we approach people and the way that we treat people, Chelsea, will speak volume, and it will let them know, like, baby, I'm human just like you. I'm trying to
Exactly.
make it just like you.
Exactly.
So, I it like, no, it's okay. Just I'm walking in purpose right now, and this is what this looks like, but I want to 10x this. I just want to
Exactly.
it. That's it, so I don't want to do no harm to you. But again, in your journey of letting people go if they have to, it'll naturally happen. And I feel like your heart will be in a good posture, it'll be in a good space, and the right people will stay because they understand your heart, and the
I
right
think
people will
so
fall off.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if it has to happen, it can be conducive to them most importantly. Okay.
Yes.
Because I mean, I feel like the impact that you have, people should see. You know what? Like I said before, the man that's for you, he's going to study you. And I feel like people that want to be in your circle, they just need to study you a little bit more. Even
I think
how
so.
you
Yes, I love that you said that. That is so true. Like we're not kids anymore. We're not like put in classrooms with people. Like we can pick and choose the channels we watch, the movies we watch, the people we follow, the
right,
people we work for, the boyfriends we have. Like we're adults now. We pick our network. We could literally see somebody online and be like, how I like you, how can I connect with you, and exchange an address, exchange a flyer for a mastermind. Like I did that this weekend. Like I saw somebody I didn't get to talk to, but I was like, wow, I was moved by you. How can I find you again in this life? How do I put you inside of my network and me inside of yours? And he sent me a flyer, $2,500 to come to my mastermind. Okay, cool. That's what it's going to take for me to see you
oh,
again and
that's
have you in my network to learn from you. I'm in. So it's like, yeah, we can pick and choose who we want
yes,
to be connected to. And
yes.
that's how my whole team is people who studied me and saw that I was hiring, and they came to me like, hey, I know how you are. I saw what you wanted. I know I can do that. I see how you live and what you how you run your business, and I know I could tolerate that, and I know I can help you. All
Oh,
right,
I
come.
can
And they've
say
been with me for like 2 years now, so it's like we're the best fit. We've never had no issues. It's like they literally did do their homework about who they were willing to work for, and I think it's been perfect. I haven't had no issues. I've had issues, but it's I find, like you said, when you find some, who did their homework, and it's the people who uh, they know that you're compatible
they
at the
come
top.
prepared.
Yes,
They come for the partnership. They come ready. They
yes,
don't ask you what you bring to the table. They
yeah.
are willing to, if you have questions because you want to make sure this solid partnership in this transaction is effective, they'll be okay with answering questions because you still want to make sure that this partnership is it's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah,
I'm just excited for your healing journey. I'm just excited for you connecting back with Chelsea and who you
me
are
too.
because you're giving so much. That's why I say the purpose
Yeah.
is heavy because you're creating a space for people to be set free. But what about your soul? What about your mental health, right? What about your self-love? So even like when we got on live that Monday, you were saying you intentionally set out dates for Chelsea. For
Oh
Chelsea.
yeah, for
And
sure.
I would say if you aren't, for those who are out here listening, setting dates for yourself is important. Just like if you are dating someone or even your kids or different appointments, set that date for you. Oh my God. Even if it's just getting you some ice cream and going to journal, or if it's taking time to go to a spa and just reflect, just take time for you. I know that might not seem normal because it wasn't normal for me at one point, but sometimes destruction forces you to take time with you. Otherwise, you're going to create chronic headaches, stress, high blood pressure, and you're going to feel it as you get
That's the
older.
season that we're in. Really, it's like when I think about it, I went from 10 years ago, I was in an extremely abusive relationship.
Right.
And when I got out of that, I just spiraled into this person of like, sir, I have to get my stuff. I have to be okay. I have to bounce back from this financially. I'm on my own now. Like I'm an adult by myself out here. And oh my gosh, like I went from like a very stable situation before that relationship. I was in a very for years. I was with the person before him. So I've always been like with people for the most part.
Wow.
And then I find myself in this super toxic place. And then once that ended, it was like I lost all that was good before him. Like I lost everything that the direction my life had been headed. It all of a sudden just did a spiral. And then it was just like, well, I have to be in beast mode now to protect myself, to secure myself. And that led me into being a single woman for a while. And that was fine. But I didn't have time for no healing. In my mind, at least, I didn't have time to worry about the past. Now it's just like straight figure your life out and get your stuff together. And so now that I think about it, now that you're saying it, you're right. Like 100% my mission was security. And then I never really took the time outside of when I became a coach 4 years ago. I still didn't take the time. It was just part of my onboarding process that I wanted to make sure that there was going to be a good chemistry exchange between the people that I was giving lifetime access to. Because through my experience with the traumatic events that had happened, I realized how important energy was. And I just wanted to protect mine. I want to help you get this bag, sis, but I want to also make sure I'm protecting my energy. So that's really what the mindset was. Like, I want to help you, but like, let me make sure where I can talk to you. And then I talked to so many people that allowed me to express my experiences. And now we've accomplished amazing things financially, but I'm not feeling wholeheartedly about everything around me. And it should be. With the amount of resources I now have available to me, I'm like in my selfish season, like I am way too set up now and more mentally developed, that it's like I know my worth now on an extreme level. I'm still obvious humble, all these things, but it's like I've done amazing things for myself and turned a whole shit show of a life around into something so positive and amazing. And like I cannot be willing to sit in mediocreness in any area of my life anymore. So it's just like a season of just like knowing my worth and being willing to really step into it. Not just like last year, I've known my worth for a little bit now, and I've kind of just been sitting on it like, no, I'm tripping, Chelsea. Like this is not I'm not performing in all areas the way I should be. And now it's just like I'm ready for that. And elimination is like the season that it is. And just being okay with taking the next few steps alone or with less people. And it's gonna be the people that are totally for my growth and totally like celebratory of it. Like not even all for it, but like pushing me, excited, like helping me. If you're not here, like, girl, I got the kids, I got the car started, then there's no room for it. I need help with making these adjustments in my life. I need more than just good job when it's all done. I don't need a standing ovation. I need a support system and people who want to be a part of something like really amazing. That's the only people I have room for in my life. The people that, yeah, I'll watch them for a day. Don't worry. Go ahead and catch that flight to that event. Oh, don't worry, Chelsea. You know, you need help with a little thing here. Like, no problem. I got you. I'll show up for you. Like, that's the type, because I'm going all out for the people in my life. And just by proximity, I don't even have to, you don't have to be family. You just being around is going to elevate you. So now it's like anybody who's going to be in my proximity has to come with either you're helping me spiritually, you're helping me mentally, you're alleviating something on my plate, but like you can't just come to eat no more. Like it just can't happen. And I'm that type though. Like I just want to help. And then you realize like how depleted you are, and you're like, not one motherfucker in here applauding me. Person in here cheering me on. This doesn't even feel right. Like
it don't feel right. Exactly. You know what? And shedding is gonna feel so good. It might be like, oh my God, we were friends for years, or this is family. Girl, I have to shed family and friends. And it, like you said, when you know your value, it's no feeling bad on your end because you did all you could do, Chelsea. So my thing is, listen, people will come and they'll be like, okay, she's like this, she's like that. So what can I add to her? People that start to do the healing work, even single women and single men, and I can't say, this is in my opinion, how we should be moving and thinking is, how can I serve them? I am new to their life, right? So go study this person or go make sure that you are doing the work for you. So if you want to be in this person proximity in their life, you know what, not just what can they bring to you, but what can you bring to them? That's healing too. When God starts to connect you with people who just get it. Like at some point in life, we're tired of while we're healing and going through trauma. We're tired of teaching. I know I'm tired of teaching people. Like, just
Can be.
how can I serve you? If
Yeah.
both parties are thinking like that, oh my God, something beautiful happens when you come together.
For sure. I agree. Outserving, if you come into it with a spirit willing to outserve one another, it's going to be the most perfect situation.
So yeah, so and this is good. And I know, wrapping this up soon. I know you have to go soon. And I'm just wow. I'm just like wow because we don't realize, even for myself at 31 years old, Chelsea, I didn't realize how much healing is so important to really discover purpose, to really figure out value, to really understand your worth, and to have
Yeah,
like quality relationships, right? So
it's so
because
true.
if we're still dealing with trauma, we can easily mishandle relationships that God try to bring to take us to the next level, honestly. And I just pray that
That's the truth for real. Like you really never know. Like none of us should ever be on a high enough horse where we don't
exactly,
admit that
exactly,
even if it was no childhood trauma, a breakup could have hurt you, a
yeah.
relationship, a friendship, like you and we're human, and it's like it is it does affect how you move forward. It does affect how you make decisions. It does affect the chances you're willing to take or your outlook on people even. There in the beginning, I people did come in my life to help me and I called them scammers. And that's oh my
Oh
God, like
wow.
embarrassed to say it, but it's true. Just like I went to church and I'm sure there were people trying to help me in church too. And I called them scammers too. Like, I mean, it's just like when you're in the defense and when you're used to people, you know, I don't know, when you feel like you got to just be looking through people because people have ulterior motives and you're so used to people just acting one way but turning into something else on the back end, it just really makes you go into every situation expecting to be screwed over or expecting the worst outcome or expecting people to just sell you short. And so it doesn't really make room for you to believe that something positive and beautiful could sprout from it. So that really, I had to learn how to let that go and accept that there are people out here that genuinely do have my best interests at heart and are willing to share their sauce with me and they are willing to share positive, genuine thoughts and help with me. Like they're not scammers just because they charge a fee for something. Like they're
Mhm.
worth it. And I had to learn that, like, no, Chelsea, like they went to school, they invested, they did this and that. Just because he's charging you $200 to meet up with you to give you strategy for 30 minutes, it may seem crazy to you, but in that world, he was giving me a massive discount because this is a multi-millionaire that's willing to come and have a coffee with me for, you know what I mean?
And you know what that also says? It shows us that this person knows their value.
Absolutely.
This is
And
not
I had to learn that. I had to learn my own value.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. In
To
order to
see,
see
oh
the
hell
same
yeah, you
thing.
should be charging me. Please charge me. Now I don't ask for discounts. I don't, and that's what I'm saying. I know I've healed in certain ways because
Exactly.
now I'm that person that's like, no, girl, don't discount me. Like charge me your worth because like I know you're worth that. You're actually worth more than that. I should be paying you more. So don't. I know I've healed in that way because before I was like, wait, how much? Like girl, I got 100 followers. I'll shout you out. I don't want to have to pay $50 for that. What? It's like, no, girl, like respect yourself enough to respect the next person who found
Ooh,
their
that's
value and their worth. And oh yeah, no,
yourself enough. There's two ways people can lead: with value or with money. And so if you're someone who may not be in the situation where you can lead with the monetary value that they're requesting, dig
oh yeah.
deep and say what value. And this is what I know I keep saying the same thing, but study. You have to, because if you
How can
can't,
I serve you? Yes.
how can you serve them? Like, look at them and say, okay, if I can't pay the $500 to meet with them for 30 minutes, what do I do right now, or what do I have right now that I can at least exchange? And that might take time because you're still trying to figure out your intrinsic and your God-given talent and your,
Talent,
your value. So it does take time, but that inner work, that soul work needs to take place. And when you break those layers down and you start journaling and you like, wow, I think like this, or wow, I talk like this, or wow, I'm really this, then you can show up different in the world. And I'm telling you, the people around you will see that you know your worth. The people around you will see your confidence, and you'll be in a room full of people, and you're like, wow, this is what this looked like when you actually do. It's just a beautiful
Yeah,
thing. So,
it is a beautiful thing. It definitely is.
so I to wrap this up, Chelsea, this was good. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel awesome.
Yes, and I do too. I really love hearing the transparency behind someone's story and where they are. And again, for those who are listening, it's okay where you are. Like if you're 35, 25, 55, Hilly don't have a time frame on it.
It sure don't, y'all. Like it really doesn't. We're always learning and evolving. I'm 35. Like I definitely didn't think I would be in the position that I'm in right now in every way. Like I just caught off an engagement a couple months ago. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect to be once again starting over. You know what I mean? But I'm starting over from a totally different place that I was before this. So much growth has happened. So many things have been learned during this time. And it's like I'm ready for whatever is to come. And I'm starting off with a huge head start. So at least each chapter is conquering a huge new battle in some way. You just got to learn if you're learning from it. And I genuinely feel I am learning from each phase of my life. The first one taught me how to go from hustler to, you know, a real businesswoman. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a huge
Wow.
step and chunk that some people take decades to go from
Because they think
that
it's hustle,
to
hustle. Yeah.
that. And
It's
and
identity.
we went through that jump fast. So that is such a blessing. Like God dragged me through a lot of thing, or you know, allowed me to go through things for years to just in 6 months blow me out the water, literally. So it's like things can change so drastically for you. You could be, oh my god, my whole life I've been struggling, my whole life I've been
Yeah.
depressed, my whole life I've been in such my whole life. And then you change your mindset, you change your proximity, you change your environment, and all of a sudden it's almost overnight that it could just shift for you. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened for me. And you know, I'm so grateful for the growth and just this next chapter and all that I've learned, all that I've learned about myself. And I'm excited. This next chapter will definitely be the best.
Absolutely. And you're setting yourself up. Like you're literally setting yourself up for what God has for you, whether it's
Yeah.
another, relationship, or whether, you scaling in business, but you're this wholesome woman. So you're humble. So you can continue to give the way you do. Even when I met you, typically when you are in a room full of, women, some could be catty, some are humble, and we experience that on different levels. Chelsea, you just gave me the spirit of I want to serve. I'm happy. I'm in my space. I'm peaceful. Like, and ever since then, even connecting via IG, you gave me that same energy. So that's the type of
Yes.
people that people
Thank
want
you.
to. You welcome.
Yes. You have to have humility. You have to remain humble. You have to remember what it was like at every phase. Like, and I'll never forget being that girl in the audience looking up at whoever was on stage and just being like, wow, like, I hope I could leave an impact like this one day. I hope I could make somebody feel how that person just gave me hope and motivation and goosebumps. Like, I hope one day somebody looks at me the way I'm looking at this woman, you know? And so, like, I will never forget where I've come from in any way. And it's just amazing because, yes, financially, so much has changed, but I'm still, and obviously, my mindset on a lot of things has evolved in the past 7 years of being an entrepreneur, but it happened very fast. Like, it took off quickly. And there's times where I'm still like not even caught up with like what people in my new tax bracket, okay, because it's brand new, you know what I mean, like this is brand new, nobody around me is with me, it's just me, and my family can't relate, nobody can relate. So it's
Wow.
just like the people, I mean, there's plenty of people that can relate, but I don't know them, you know, like to the
Right.
oh, hey, girl, you know. So it's just like, wow, I never, you have to develop into now this successful multimillionaire when you've never gotten taught how to do that. It's like, who am I? I'm still this 9 to 5. I mean, I'm not the 9 to 5 minded person, but I still feel like a shell. I come from a working background. So naturally I'm a boss now, but I'm still, and I've always been a hustler, but it's just like, wow, evolving into this businesswoman with all that comes with it, the success that comes with it, the learning and the mistakes that come with it, all of it has just been like, wow, look
Oh
at what we've
wow.
become. And
Yeah.
it's amazing, but we got to like catch up because it's like, oh my gosh, like we are here. Like, this
We're
is
here.
us, like, we can't carry ourselves the same. I can't just hop in my girl. You hopping in a G-Wagon now. Like, you can't just be out here. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's a totally different ball game now.
Absolutely.
I was at the mall yet. Like, I'm not the mall. I was at a resort yesterday during this event with another one of the speakers, and it was late. Like, we had just had dinner. It was late, like 11. We're walking through one of the resorts here, and it wasn't like one of the nicest ones. It's like sometimes when you have an event, they kind of put all the people in just like one group rate kind of resort, and it was one of the ones that, as a local of Vegas now, I just know it wasn't like we're not at the Bellagio right now. We're not with like that part of Vegas. We're with the and just us walking through there, like, you can feel Vegas could be a very sketch city, and like, we're humble as hell. He's Mexican. Like, he comes from the streets of LA originally. So we're not thinking like anything. We're walking through super comfortable. We just came from a business conference with a bunch of millionaires and billionaires. Like, we're carrying ourselves how we always do. And we really had to check ourselves as we were in that line to check in. We realized how sketchy of an environment it was. And
Wow.
it's like, we can't carry ourselves the regular schmegular way that we always did. Like, we have to respect the fact that, like, we low-key should be with security. Like, between both of us, we're wearing somebody's whole salary, a few salaries, actually. It's just that kind of scary real quick, because I don't think about these things. But then when other people around you who haven't realized they haven't gotten to that level yet, it's just like, you quickly realize, like, okay, things have changed. I have to
Adjust.
rise to the occasion. This is the new life that I have. My kids are not no regular kids. We're not regular anymore. I hate, and sometimes it feels weird to step into that because, family, like I said before, it's like, but all right, y'all go out. You're gonna feel it. It's just what it is now. There's a lot of attention on us now. You're driving in a $200,000 car now. Yeah, it's regular to us. It's been years for us now, but that's not. We're in a recession, and I have to. It's like, okay. That's why we don't even go outside. I feel more comfortable here because it's just like, I see what the world is going through, and it really sucks. And I have so much value that I could share to help people overcome these times. And so I want to be outside. I want to talk and be vocal and help people, because it is a lot mindset related. We can act like inflation and everything that's going on is this big bad wolf and scary thing, and we can let it keep us stuck where we're at, or we can become millionaires during this recession. It's a mindset shift. And so
that's heavy.
I've made all of this clean. I've made all of this normalized because that's what it takes to keep it going and to really step into who you need to be. But we can't forget that a lot of people just haven't been exposed to what they're capable of yet. A lot of people haven't seen their abundance yet. So they see it as like intimidating thing. They see it as like, oh, somebody like, but no, you should be trying to come over here and figure out how someone like me
seriously. Absolutely. And how can I arise to that occasion? Not look at them and say who they think they are because they have security.
Yes, like, don't shun people for like being out here living their life, like, Yeah, I had somebody say that. Like, I met up for a meeting in person the other day, and they were just like, okay, like, they made it a thing, and I'm like, so am I supposed to go rent a Honda Civic and hop out of that? Because I've had one of those too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you expect me to hop out of? Do you know, like, not do you know who I am, but I'm just saying, like, if you knew who I was, you see my G-Wagon all over my page. So you should have known. Don't make me feel weird for pulling up in my vehicle. Should I have Ubered here? Like, what the hell do you want me to pull up in? I've been I'm a successful businesswoman. So why are you pointing out weird things that are normal to me that should be normal to you?
Normal to you. And if it's not normal to you, make it normal to you, right? Let it be an inspiration, and knowing that this woman is coming like that, even when they seen you, they should have normalized it right then and there, regardless of if it was. That's the wisdom I would have and carry over myself. If I'm going in a room with people who are multimillionaires and billionaires, whether I have that or not, I'm going to make it normal because they're normal people.
Yes.
If whatever
Yes.
I don't know, fine. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna shut up and be a student and pray that I ask the right questions. We
How
know
is that person like? I see that $500, that $500,000 watch on your wrist. Can you tell me some steps I can take to get something like that? Like, what did you
absolutely.
do to acquire that vehicle? Like, I want a G Wagon. I love your G Wagon. How did you? Oh, wait, it's a write off? Like, if
But
you don't ask these questions, you don't know. So here's someone like me who doesn't ever get taught that, thinking that I have to like, oh, save for the rest of my life to afford something like that. No, you just need to start a business and become profitable and successful in that business, and eventually you're going to need some big write-offs. And that was a huge write-off for me that helped me save a ton of money on taxes. So it was a tax play. You don't learn these things until you learn them and go through them, So the things
versus
that I always thought, I look at these guys and I'm like, oh my God, like their girl's just so lucky. Like, God, he's buying her this, he's buying her that. Like, yes, that could still be the case. But now once you know business and you know what's what, you just, oh, I see how they did that. So they did it like that because now it's business and now it's a tax write-off. Wow. They actually
business. Relationships are business. When you get to a status like that, every play has to make sense with this person.
every
Is it an asset or
play,
a liability at this point?
everything. Yeah.
Everything, right? So Chelsea, what major gem would you give a woman looking to heal and walk in abundance? Like, what is that gem?
I
You
think just
said
give
so many
yourself,
gems.
huh?
I said you said so much amazing value in gems, period. But if you could just give for those who are listening that one gem looking to heal and claim their abundance.
I feel like if you're looking to heal and you genuinely, that's your goal, you really want to heal, I think you're going to have to just give yourself grace. That's the best gem throughout the process of just giving yourself grace. And that's just with anything, healing, starting a business, just starting something new for yourself. Give yourself grace and know that this is going to be a long journey. Sometimes will feel like a battle, not even a journey, a battle, but it's worth it in the end, just like starting the business is. It's like anything worth having is worth the time it takes to get it. So just be willing. This is the best journey. It's bigger than business. It's bigger than any goal you have. The healing from the inside out will get you so far ahead in the race, in any way, from relationships, financial, material, in any way. Healing from the inside out is only going to help you get those things accomplished even faster. And like that's the biggest gem I would give, is that it's not going to be the prettiest process, but just give yourself grace every step of the way. It's not a race. It's not a race. Every day it can just 1% optimization every single day, just 1%. We don't have to strive for like but 1% every day is eventually going to add up to being a completely different, better, improved version of yourself. And
that's good.
That's how you truly claim, your abundance. That's how you claim your truest potential. And I think all of us are just here to satisfy and fulfill the purpose that God intended for us. And as soon as we can tap into what that is, the sooner we can really all get down to fulfilling that promise that we should, I feel, have with God. He put us here to experience so many freaking perfect, beautiful things. And we didn't even pay to be here. Like, we're here on just a free ride, So it's just like, dang, like the least we could do is be like, thank you for this experience. Like, I'm going to make you proud, and just go for it.
Wow. That was heavy, Chelsea. I hope whoever is listening is crying. Like, I needed this. I needed this because
I hope so. I hope people really do know that like anything that you want is so possible, no matter what it feels like, like it's gonna look ugly at times for sure. It's gonna feel brutal. Oh, but you're always going to come out of it. We're such resilient people. Humans are just so resilient. We've been going through things since the beginning of time, just as humans. And it's like, you're not going to break, nothing is going to break you. And so just keep going.
Keep going. I love that. I love that. Listen, you all heard her story. You heard her transparency. Oh my God. Do not
Aw,
feel
thank you
like
for having me,
you
Deidre.
are welcome. Like I just knew like to be able to connect and hear your story means a lot to me because it lets me know like you say the word proximity. I love that. Regardless to if you are making millions yet or whatever it is, the type of success that you want, when God start aligning you with people who do have a similar heart to yours, please know that everything you want, He's just confirming like it's your time. Just keep doing the work, right? And making sure that your heart is postured in the right space so you can connect to people,
And
men and women,
receive all your blessings.
all your
Receive
blessings.
them
That's what it
all.
is. You know, all your because
Yes.
a blessing can come in the form of people, a new mindset, a new environment. It's not always just money and material. We got to be very cognizant of that as
Yes.
well. So,
Yes.
Chelsea, where can the people find you, girl? All your beautiful content online.
Thank you. Yes. I feel like I want to tell everybody about Top Floor because we've talked a lot about proximity, and honestly, your net worth is determined by your network, and it's
Sheesh.
such a true thing. And I think in the beginning, when you're starting off in business, like you really just don't have anyone to turn to. You don't, when you're
Yep.
starting off in healing, whatever it is, a new journey requires sometimes support and just comfort and just knowing that you're not in this alone.
Yep.
And so I have a beautiful community. It's called Top Floor, and it's a mastermind group where yes, I love this community so much because it allows me to feature successful business women. Not even,
Yeah.
but we've expanded past business this year, so we've talked about the childhood traumas, we've talked about things on a more spiritual, deeper level as well, because I've realized like the successful woman needs more than just money. Like the successful woman needs information and tools and resources to overcome depression and anxiety and insecurities, and how do we implement boundaries, like what is a boundary. So
Right.
I need to educate my women. As I help you become financially successful, we also need to be figuring out some of these other deeper things that we're not talking about as much mainstream. So Top Floor is a like-minded community. It's a community of people who like have strong values, who want more for their life, and who are just willing to come together and have a community. And so it's $29 a month, and you come in and you listen to 2 to 3 guest speakers a month, and each one of these guest speakers is extremely successful in whatever they do. So if it's healing, if it's making money online, if it's starting a bakery, they're going to come in and teach you different things that they're just experts at. And so proximity is key. You're coming in and I'm bringing 6 and 7 figure earners to highlight, so that you as the member can come in and rub shoulders with some of these people. You know what I'm saying? We're on live calls with them, so introduce yourself to this millionaire and let them know who you are. Let the pick their brain, ask questions, and get to know these people a little bit better, so that my network can become your network as well. And so I think this would be a beautiful thing for some of your members to get into. If they feel like connected to this conversation in any way, then chances are there's a lot of things that we would probably have some synergy with. And I try to keep it spicy and interesting for the topics that I bring to Top Floors, because I already know people want to be excited about the communities that they're a part of. And so we really do that in Top Floors. So if anybody's interested in that, follow me on Instagram regardless, because I keep my page very high frequency. Like we don't have no fluff, no garbage, no BS on my page. It's all things that are created with intention to help deliver a very important message. And I just want to help create more successful women this year from the inside out. So my Instagram is Learn with Chelsea. So follow me on Instagram, Learn with Chelsea, and you can DM me the word mentor if you're interested in a mentorship, and I can send you information. I know that Deidre's going to include some links, so make sure you click those, because I have live workshops. There's a lot going on, guys. I'm 100% dedicated to helping y'all really just become financially free and make money this year, so that you can really just hit the road running.
Hit the road, the ball, the
Hit
ground.
the wall. Let's go. Ball in the court, ball in the hoop, whatever you want to do. Money in the bank. Okay.
The bank run, right? Hit it all running. This was great. Listen, go follow her now. You are, like she said, high frequency conversations and content on her
Yes.
page. On
And
her
when
page.
does this episode air? Because I don't know if it's on the 28th or after or before. Is it before the 28th? Because I have a webinar coming up that everybody should come to if they're interested. But if it's after the
Absolutely. No, this will air. This will, and for those that's listening, yeah, like this will air. Let me see, because we put it on YouTube. So by Friday, no later than Monday.
Okay, cool. So so you guys should all come. I have a live webinar. It's on Zoom, so you can make it from wherever you're at in the world listening to this episode. And if you're interested in making an extra 6 figures this year, I'm going to be doing a live workshop where I'm going to break down exactly the play that you need to execute this year so that you can make that happen. Okay. My first year as a drop shipper, my first 6 months made $120,000 for 6 months. So I'm teaching you guys how to add, more income to your household this year. Come, if you want the private link to that, you can just DM me on Learn with Chelsea, DM me the word exclusive, and I'll send you that link. But everybody should try to make it. I'll send you the replay if you miss it. And I'm going to give a lot of value on there that I feel like our women need,
Women need, absolutely. And if you are in business, don't look at it as, oh, I got to start another LLC, another business. No, this is just an extension of what you already have going on. Just look at it as a department and another stream of income. We are working smarter, not harder. So listen, tap in.
Yes, tap in, ladies.
Everything you need. I'm telling you, that's why I have her on this podcast today. Okay?
Love it. Thank you for having me. This was amazing. I really hope to connect more with you and your audience, serve in any way that I can. Like I talk about this all day, every day. So if anybody ever has a question, like you can even book a free call with me and my team. Like we want to make sure that like we can help you navigate this thing. Like, let us help you become successful. This is like my true mission. Like really just helping more women figure it out. We have such a small time here on earth, and it's like, why struggle through it? Why live through life unhealed and hurting and broken and broke in the process? Like let's just all commit to stepping into our abundance and becoming our best selves.
And that's what it's about. I love that. That's exactly what it's about. And I mean, even with my audience, as my academy is growing, there's a lot of women that I'm sure they're going to want an extension of having an online business without having to show up. If they're already the forefront of their primary business, why not have another stream of income? So
why not? Why not? What's a few skill sets that can help you generate hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like, especially those who are in business. If you have, if your audience is already, but they already know, like the sky's the limit. If you did what you've already done, imagine 10xing that now just by adding a few new skills. So I'm excited, girl, and this has been amazing.
I want to make sure that if there is a specific link for. Well, you know what? This episode has ended. For those who want to follow and get on the webinar, please go follow her. Listen, I'm going to shoot this to my audience too, because this is amazing. So thank you guys for listening, tuning in. Don't forget that you are not alone in this healing journey. Claiming My Abundance have a free Facebook group. I'll go live over there. We, introduce ourselves, talk about our trauma and everything, because sis, you don't have to do it alone. Don't do life alone. Okay. Thank you all, and see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm free. I'm human, but I'm comfortable with me. I'm capable.